So I have been loving going down this rabbit hole of watching Taylor Swift in the studio be creative and her songwriting and creative process and her recording process. Because as a recording artist and musician myself, it's inspiring to watch these tremendously successful artists do this kind of the same thing in the studio. It's just we're doing it at different levels and in different studios, right? But it's just an encouraging, inspiring thing to watch. And I was told that in order to see a little bit more of her actual creative process and the making of a song, to check out this video. So here we are checking it out. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jacob Restituto. If you're coming back, I appreciate you coming back. Thanks so much. Let's get right into this track. Don't Blame Me, the making of Taylor Swift.
Don't blame me, love made me crazy. If it doesn't, you ain't doing it right.
Hold on a sec. It's an interesting contrast between the piano and the guitar. It almost has more of a swing on the guitar. See, isn't that interesting? See, that's what's cool about songwriting is how it progressively changes. So as we see, this is day one over here, but like it was cool to see like this, like, you know, it's more steady. Don't blame me, da, ba, ba, ba. And then with the guitar, it was da, 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 da. It had this pulse, like moving wave, like swing.
Don't blame me, love made me crazy.
It's also faster.
If it doesn't, you ain't doing it right. Lord, save me, my drug is my baby. I'll be using for the rest of my life. Tend to sleep at night. Got something that you like. Don't blame me, love me. That's kind of cool. Use it for the rest of my life.
Chord progression's cool.
But I want it to sound kind of like religious.
So that's interesting. That's an interesting line right there. So there's this classic chord in the Catholic Church chord progression. They call it the Amen chord. It's the musical technical term. It's a plagal chord, and what it is typically music resolves, especially pop music at this point, resolves with a 5-to-1 chord. It has this because there's something called the tendency tone, where in the seventh scale degree of the chord, which is in the 5 chord, wants to go to 1, and it's this classic just chord progression of I don't have my guitar with me, but like if I did, it's this classic like 5-to-1 resolution. It's like, oh, okay, it sounds like it's ending. The plagal chord is the Amen chord, and it's 4-to-1, and it's a classic church chord progression. It's just I wish I had my guitar. I'd play it for you, but it's a significantly different, like less resolute, but like you also still super familiar because like you probably heard it, you know, sometime in life. So that being said, though, I'm curious if they actually ended up using that plagal chord because that's a very classic church chord.
Oh yeah, record that.
Is it Max Martin?
Don't blame me, love made me crazy. If it doesn't, you ain't doing it alright. Lord, save me, my drug is my baby. I'll be using for the rest of my life. Don't blame me, love. Do you want to sing your thing?
Kind of almost sounds like it could be a Hosier track.
I have to sing and play at the same time, you mean? Okay.
Very much like a Hosier track.
It's on
Yeah, that's cool.
Very much. Even that boom, dum, boom, very much sounds like a Hosier track.
Don't blame me, love made me crazy. If it doesn't, you'll be doing it right.
So this is interesting. I've always found this process interesting when artists record vocals at the same time. So the concept is you essentially looking for these gang vocals, like this choir, not essentially choir, like, you know, mixed vocals. But it surprises me that they don't do it separately, because then you have more control in the studio of like, oh, let's make this part louder, let's make this part quieter, let's adjust this. I've always I would be curious if anybody has this perspective on why do it together rather than separate. Which album was this on?
Don't blame me, love made me crazy. If it doesn't, you ain't doing it right. Lord save me, my drug is my baby. I'll be using for the rest of my life. Don't blame me, love made me crazy. If it doesn't, you ain't doing it right.
I want to know where she's recording this right now that we're hearing the audio, because there's a bit of reverb on the audio, so I wonder if we're hearing the feed. So I'm not super familiar with this track, actually. I know a lot of her music, but I don't know every song, obviously. But what's interesting about this is it does have that, like, so religious is an interesting word, but like almost like this like soulful, almost like a anthemic. What's the word I'm looking for? Like what's the word? Like pre like Civil War kind of like South kind of like, I almost hear like these really driven, almost like tambourines and like this like it really, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I'll let you know if I think of it. But it's not. It's less more like church sound and almost more like group singing kind of vibe. I don't know how to explain it.
Lord save me, my drug is my baby. I'll be using for the rest of my life.
Almost gospel like.
Gang vocals. Far away.
Okay, so far away. Let's talk about that. Mic placement changes the tone, the quality, and obviously the distance of the mic. If you're recording a bunch of vocals, you can do it in different spots, and it'll sound different, creating what would sound like if you had a big group of people there, you'd all be different distances from the microphone.
Don't blame me,
Come on.
love made me crazy. If it doesn't, you ain't doing it right. Lord save me, my
Come
dog
on.
is my baby. I'll be using for the rest of my life.
I feel like that deserves like. I'm surprised that's not in like clips of like her like best singing. Like that sounded ridiculous, man. I've heard obviously this album. I went every time a Taylor album comes out, I go and listen to it. I don't remember this track though, so I gotta go check it out. But that was insane. The power behind the last vocal was crazy, man. Well, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments below what you want to check out next. I love watching these behind the scenes, so let me know. Thank you so much for watching. God bless and peace out.